goal of this pilot program is to give educators an overview of the 8 world religions. Not the, but 8 world religions. Judaism, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Baha'i, and Indigenous. And during the course of this day, our 8 religious educators will discuss the major tenets of their religions, including a belief or non-belief in a higher power, prophets, teachers, and elders, sacred texts and teachings, including both oral and written traditions, and values, prayer, places of worship and sacred sites, holidays and celebrations, rites of passage and concepts of death and the afterlife, and dietary practices. You'll be given an opportunity to engage in discussions with our various educators and view some of their sacred artifacts during the World Cafe program this afternoon. And during the day, we'll also be giving you a range of resources and learning designs for the inclusion of a beliefs program which will meet the criteria of the new Australian curriculum.
Parawicanga, Gana Mira no Wangani, Mani the Bundi Gani Yatana. Nibirico, Mankalakala Tandanya Mianaku. Nature Humandalia, Nature Yakandalia, Padniadlu Wadu. On behalf of the Ghana people, I welcome you all to Ghana country, and I do this ambassador of the Adelaide Plains people. My brothers, my sisters, let's walk together in harmony. Natalia.
I'd now like to introduce Hieu Van Lay, who will give the opening speech, and a personal thanks to Hieu, who I've known for a number of years, and who has pushed me and pushed me. We have to do more about interfaith, intercultural education.
Started with some quotes, which in this environment I think it could be a bit appropriate. Allah said, "Love for other people what you love for yourself." And Jesus said, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in to him and eat with him and he with me." Unquote. And Buddha said, "Thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared." And these 3 quotes, in a different ways, convey a little of what it means to live a life in which we do good unto fellow human beings. But before we are even motivated to do that good, we must first begin to understand one another, to appreciate that we are different, and to end our fear of the unfamiliar. Like most countries in the world, you know, Australia is imperfect when it comes to the existence and propagation of mutual understanding. I do, however, believe that we develop a high degree of cultural harmony and that we have good reason to be pleased, though not complacent, with what we have achieved. In 2012, Australia is a sum of many parts, thanks largely to our remarkable history of immigration. Ours is an extremely rich nation, and I don't mean just materially or wealth. This continent was rich before the start of European settlement, with indigenous Australians creating and nurturing complex and varied cultures over a period of tens of thousands of years. In fact, it's the longest surviving culture, living culture on this planet today. Australia has become only richer with the arrival of successive waves of immigrants and refugees. A big proportion of these people, like me, came with very little material wealth to our names. Yet we brought something that was invisible, but hugely valuable. We brought different histories, different cultures, different customs, languages, food and everything else. Perhaps most important of all, different faiths and different beliefs. For me, there's no greater virtue than opening up one's heart and one's mind to people who are unlike ourselves. Indeed, mutual appreciation of belief is the cornerstone of the human civilization, civilized society that we have today. Finding that harmony is certainly not easy when it comes to religion. We can adjust to strange languages or unusual kind of food or clothing, or for example. But I think that accepting other religions can be very challenging because faith is an inherently more complex matter. Faith lies at the very core of our being and our identity and thus our culture. Yet it can be a rather complex thing to explain to others. One of the keys to understand is this, is to realize that all religions, all faith, have a common ultimate aim. And that aim is to improve our well-being and this life in the next life or for all eternity. When we rise above preconceptions and when we put aside fear of what we don't at first understand, then we are on our way to a more enlightened and peaceful world. When we can truly relate to one another, standing in their shoes and see things from their perspective and have a sense of empathy, our horizon expands. And that's if we have more than one soul. Ladies and gentlemen, if we agree that understanding religious diversity is vital to a harmonious society, then the key question is how to bring it about. I strongly believe that one of the best ways of bringing it about is through education, and by starting with the young people. An appreciation of the world's major religion is terrifically worthwhile knowledge. And it's easier to instill that knowledge in people when their minds are open, supple, and accommodating. In light of this fact, I'm delighted that the Abraham Institute has initiated this comparative beliefs programs specifically for teachers. In my view, in our society, or in any society, teachers have the most important task of anyone. They have the job of equipping, influencing, guiding, and inspiring our leaders of tomorrow. Catherine Good and the Institute have done a great deal of fine work in seeking to build multi-faith understanding. And the efforts of the Institute are complemented by other organizations here in Adelaide, many religious organizations, but also the International Center for Muslim and Non-Muslim Understanding that's established by the University of South Australia. I also want to recognize the contribution made by Minister for Education and Child Development, the Honourable Grace Pontalisi, and the department itself. I really admire the work of the Task Force on Religious Diversity, which she set up, the Minister set up when she was Minister for Multicultural Affairs. And as I said earlier, Jackie was one of the members of the task force. I'm also pleased to hear that she's Minister supporting this program that you are all taking part in here today. Not least because it fits in with the new Australian curriculum for school. Ladies and gentlemen, centuries ago, in one of the Chinese philosophical teaching, uttered some wise words about how we might bring about profound change in our society, in our world, and this is what he said. The best plan, many of you have heard this before, the best plan for 1 year is to grow crops. The best plan for 10 years is to grow trees. But the best plan for 100 years is to grow people. I would take the whole village to grow one person. However, I believe, and every one of you in this room, teachers, in your capacity as a teacher and a guidance for our future leaders, you have the task, the main task of growing this people. I wish you all the very best in that vital endeavor. Thank you.